All right, joining us, Martin Truex Jr., driver number 56, Napa Auto Parts Toyota. Martin currently sits 5th in points. Talk a little bit about being at Watkins Glen this weekend.
Yeah, I'm just excited to be here. I really enjoy the road course racing, especially here at Watkins Glen. It's a place that it's pretty special to me. Coming up here as a kid, watching my dad race, and then running some Busch North races up here and stuff. It's one of the tracks that's kind of special to me, like New Hampshire and Dover is. So looking forward to the race this weekend, and we've had some pretty good results here over the past few years. So with the job the Napa teams have been doing this year, looking forward to getting on track and seeing what we can come up with and seeing what kind of weekend we can turn out with.
All right, we'll open it up for questions for Martin. Please raise your hand. We'll get a wireless mic to you. As always, please state your name and affiliation. Questions? Okay, we'll start right here with Mike. We'll get a wireless mic to you. To your right, Mike. Behind you, around you.
Mike Muller, MikeMuller.net. Looking ahead at the chase, I guess we pretty much know who's going to be in it, and you're probably going to be in it unless something bizarre happens. When you look at those 10 races, how do you look at where you are weak and need to get strong, and how do you get stronger there, and where are you strong, and how do you see yourself and Scott and I guess and the rest of the guys playing out in the chase, and how do you share data in the chase?
Well, I don't think we've gotten ahead of ourselves yet and looked into that. I mean, it's not over till it's over. We've still got 5 races to go, and yes, we're in a good position, but we've got to keep focused on what we're doing. So I don't think we've sat down and looked at the races upcoming yet. I think throughout the season we've really done a good job of judging ourselves against the competition and working accordingly to that. And I feel like even if we were winning races every weekend, we would still be working hard to be better. That's been the big change at Michael Waltrip Racing, from in the almost 3 years that I've been there. In the past year and a half, it's always been push, push, push. And, if you're not winning every race, you can be better. And, that's the way the competition works, and that's what we've been doing. So to say we sat down and looked at the last 10 and said, how are we going to step up our game, I don't think it's that simple. I think it's been, something that's been put into place before that. We've been working on things for months, not necessarily for the last 10 races, but for as soon as we could get them done and into place so we could run faster. So we're constantly working forward, trying to be better, and certainly we could probably look at the last 10 and maybe come up with a bit of a strategy, but we haven't done that yet.
Okay, we'll take our next question from Chuck.
Martin, Chuck Howard, NASCAR Media Group. In a couple of weeks, we head back to Bristol, a place where you finished 3rd this past spring and 2nd last fall. Have you thought much about what the regroove there, and just what do you think we're going to see when we get back to Bristol?
I have thought about it quite a bit, and our teammate Clint did the tire test there and didn't think, I guess, that it was all that much different. So I'm interested to see what it's like. The last 2 races there, running 2nd and 3rd, we've ran pretty much the extreme high side, which has been ground away. So that's kind of I'm not really looking forward to finding out if it's going to be that much worse. But guys seem to run the middle of the racetrack most of the race, and we were able to run the middle. So I don't really think it's going to be a whole lot different. I mean, I think it's going to be different because that extreme high side is not going to have the speed that it's had in the past few years. So I think we'll have to adjust our setup a little bit and work on some things. But looking forward to Bristol, always do. It's a great racetrack, and looking forward to going there.
Okay, we'll take our next question from Jeff.
Jeff Gluck from SBNation.com. I think you kind of made a comment on Twitter after the race last week when, or maybe it was a couple weeks ago, they didn't come talk to you, and it just seemed,
I didn't. I just retweeted somebody that said that.
Well,
that was funny.
I was just wondering if you felt like the season that you're having, do you feel like it's being overlooked by people, or people are not paying enough attention to what you've been able to do and accomplish this season?
I mean, honestly, either way, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I'm paid to go out there and do a job, and I feel like I'm doing that as well as I can possibly do it right now. And so for me, that's enough. I don't need to read my name in print or look at or be in the headlines. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to do my job, have fun doing it, work with my guys, and be part of a team. And we've done a fabulous job this year, I feel like, of stepping up our program on all fronts. I feel like I've done a good job as a driver of being a better leader of my team, being a better team player, and somebody that's had a lot of input into where we're at. So I'm proud of what we've accomplished, and whether it makes the headlines or not, I could care less.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
All right, you've talked about the Sean Varga with the leader. You've talked about the success that the team's been putting in and the work that the team's been putting in. Talk about it as it relates to the road courses with Clint's last win, and how confident are you right now?
Well, fairly confident. You know, you never know what you have until you get on the racetrack. So I'm looking forward to this place drying out soon and we can get out there. But we've had strong cars on the road courses the past few years, and you know, this year at Sonoma we had a strong car, and we got tore up at the end, unfortunately, like we seem to every year there. But we had a lot of speed. Obviously, Clint dominated the race. Brian was fast in the 55, and you know, we've had some great results here the past few years. We you know, ran fourth last year and had a really strong car, and you know, looking forward to some things that we've worked on putting in place on the race car to come here, and hope to be even better yet. So the Napa Toyota's been strong all year, and the coolest thing is that every week I go to the track, I'm very optimistic. I have a lot of confidence in my team right now and what we've been able to accomplish. And you know, even at tracks like Pocono last week, we struggled a little bit throughout the weekend, and you know, here we are halfway through the race and we're the fastest car on the track. So it just goes to show what we're able to do as a team, working together, and you know, with the communication between Chad and I, what we're able to get out of our race cars. And look forward to going to every track every single weekend, and especially places I've had success in the past, like here at Watkins Glen.
Okay, additional questions? Go ahead, Lee, right here.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. I guess you said this weekend you're pretty close to getting your deal done going forward with Michael Waltrip Racing. Had they not turned it on, had you not had that conversation with Michael, I guess a year ago, Texas, and really felt like he was committed to the program, would it have been, you know, harder to stay? I mean, you really have seemed over the last year like you're convinced that everybody's going in the right direction, that Michael's really put up, you know, what he said he was going to do, and it's just made it an environment where you really feel like you can flourish. So can you talk a little bit about that and how close you feel like you are to, you know, making it all, I guess, official?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're very, very close. I mean, I'm not going to say it's done, but it's, you know, it's basically done. So I'm very, very happy about that. And I guess, you know, it was one of those deals where we had to work out some details, but there was never a time when the whole thought of going through contract negotiations again came up that there was never a thought of me saying, okay, what are my options? What am I thinking? There was none of that. It was, how can we get this deal done to keep moving forward? We've come a long way. And when you put that much work into something, you know, it's not, you don't want to just say, I can do this somewhere else, because it's not that easy. You know, I mean, I've put a lot of effort into being part of that team to help them build a program, and they've invested a lot into me to be part of that program. So it was something that I felt like we both wanted to continue, and there was never any talk about whether we were going to try to renew or not. It was, okay, what do we have to do to get this deal done from both sides? So it was really probably the easiest, well, I say it's not done yet, but it's been a very easy process, and we've really concentrated on racing and just kind of done this on the side trying to get it done. But it's been a pleasure to work with all those guys over there throughout not only this, but throughout the past 3 years, and looking forward to doing that for a long time to come.
Okay, go ahead, Mike.
We've noticed all year that you seem more studious, more focused, more serious, I guess. We think of you as a happy, fun-loving guy up to now, but this year, I mean, right from the start, it was like new game face on the entire year, and you've kept it up. Is that just you inside, or is there somebody you're talking to on the team? Did Scott Miller come over and say, well, you got to be more serious, or did Michael? What made the change in you? You seem to be a lot different person this year.
I'm the same person I've always been. You know, it's just a whole lot easier to do this job and be focused on what you're doing when your cars are good and your team believes in you and you believe in your team and all that goes along with that. It's you know, it's hard to come to the racetrack when you know you're not going to be competitive, or your chances of being competitive are slim. And you know, I feel like I've had an opportunity this year. I knew coming into this year I was going to have an opportunity, and I wanted to be sure that I made the most of that. And maybe that's part of the reason for the focus. But I feel like I've always focused on my job and put in 110%. This year's just felt different, you know. The communication has been so great inside the team, not only with my team and with Chad and all the guys in the Napa car, but all three of our teams. And I feel like all of us have been really engaged in the program, and you know, that's a big reason for you know, why we have 2 cars in the chase and could possibly have 3 if Mark would have drove full time. So it's been a lot of fun to do it, and it's been a pleasure to work with everybody, and just fortunate to be in this position. I can't thank my guys in Napa and everybody enough for what they've done, and and Michael and Rob for what they put into the race team. And I feel like it's my job to be focused and put in 110% every day, and that's what I'm doing.